VCR tapes. These things hold so many nostalgic memories of how we used to watch films on home media. Well, time to rank an entire horror franchise about this. Hey everyone, it's Don G. Corleone here, and I'm here with a brand new franchise ranking. And this franchise ranking is going to be for a horror franchise again. And this franchise was, for one, I've reviewed the most recent installment of yesterday and watched and reviewed anyways, but yeah, as you can tell by that intro, this ranking is going to be for all 5 of the VHS movies from worst to best. Yeah, so because now that I've watched VHS 99, it's time to rank all 5 of these movies, soon to be 6 next year, so I'm probably going to have to make this ranking again. It's going to have to be this franchise. But anyway, that being started, since this is going to be a worst to best ranking, or basically bad to good, or because technically these films are not really masterpieces in any way. But anyway, let's get on with the worst to best, what obviously is the bottom of the barrel. Kicking off at number 5, what is obviously the bottom of the barrel, VHS Viral. This movie is just borderline unwatchable. I tried just watching this film like 2 years ago, and by the third, I nearly fell asleep. It is just that bad. This was the one VHS movie I swore to never watch again. It's like they just hunted down the worst horror writers and directors in hopes of sabotaging a continuing VHS franchise, and they succeeded. Until 2021. The camera work is horrendous. Just gun to my head, if I had to pick the best segments, it'd be none of them. None. 0. That sentence alone should tell you enough about this movie. It was all these segments were just such dumb segments and dumb plotline narratives that made no sense, but actually attempted to suspense in some form of story. The main story is just dog shit. If you like the first two VHS movies are just like this franchise, don't watch this. Don't ever watch this movie unless you want to feel depressed or pissed off. So yeah, VHS Viral, fuck this movie, and I will never, ever see this piece of shit again in my life. Now, kicking off at number 4 is going to be the most recent one and the new kid on the block, VHS 99. VHS 99 just did not deliver. As a huge fan of VHS 2 and 94, I'm just sad that 99 was so boring and stale. It isn't the worst movie of the franchise, that would have to be the one I recently just shut on, but it doesn't live up to the potential. Most of the sketches lean heavily on just throwing disgusting visuals at the viewer with little to no regard to story development. Sketches like The Gawkers or Ozzy's Dungeon just waste their potential by being as basic and dumb as can be, and the other sketches are just as boring. The only segments that I really liked in this whole movie was literally the last sketch, To Hell and Back, which actually had some good story, character development, and an interesting aesthetic, so yeah. After VHS 94, we had a bad sequel called VHS 99, and it was just not even worth it at all, and VHS 85 better not be anything like this. Now kicking off at number 3 is going to be for the very one that started it all 10 years ago in 2012, VHS. This movie has really not held up well. It's just a hopeless case of wasted potential. There was some serious creativity in some of these segments, but then there were the other 3 that just do not work. The first segment, Amateur Night, sets up a good tone for the audience, but then that just sets us up to be let down by the others, and little by little, we see that some potential scares were flushed by either the directors not knowing how to end it, or some editing that seemingly fixed the problem of an ending. My easily biggest problem with this movie is the whole frame narrative and first half, which is tape 56. Tape 56 just ruins this fucking movie for me. When you have this film be about a bunch of scumbags that this movie thinks we are supposed to be sympathizing with and rooting for, yet they are just so hateable that you don't care and you just want them to die quick. Was there good segments to this movie? Yeah. Amateur Night, really good segment with that creepy girl going, I like you. And then you got Tuesday the 17th, which is a pretty good Friday the 13th throwback. 10/31/98 had its moments, but that one with the Skype call, the second honeymoon, which is sadly directed by soon-to-be ex-director Ty West at the time, those two are so boring. So yeah, the only two of these segments stand out well. Every other segment is just bland or just boring to sit through. And kicking off in second place is going to be for the one we got last year, VHS 94. Now say what you will about VHS 94, was a fun return to form for this franchise for me. Taking it back to its grittier roots, coming off of the disaster that was VHS Viral. While the film takes a much more bizarre direction than the first two films, it's more fun for doing so as it at least sticks to the somewhat believable found footage realism that the first two films set up so well. 94 is a refreshing return to the franchise roots after the last time. One thing that stands out is probably the increased budget. While in the previous films you could feel the lack of money in certain segments, in this case we have some short films with excellent set designs, fantastic practical effects, and great costumes. Probably the best practical effects since VHS 2, especially with Safe Haven. That segment. That just gives it a rather theatrical, visceral entertainment factor, and of course the result, we have one of the goriest installments of the saga. Can't say shit right. And we have two great segments in here. We have Storage Drain with the giant rats, and we also have my favorite of this film, the subjects, which was easily just feels like this really wild, hardcore first-person shooter video game, and it was really filmed very well. So yeah, those are the two best segments. The other one with the coffin or the funeral home is alright, and the last one's not very good. But VHS 94 would probably be in second place. And without a doubt, the number one top of this franchise is most obviously going to be 2013's VHS 2. Wow, what a contrast this film is with the first one. Most found footage films I've seen have always had me wondering why the hell the people in the films are bothered to carry video cameras around and record the events that are unfolding around them as they run for their lives, but this one's different. This is one of the few found footage films I actually generally love. Every use of a camera has been cleverly thought out and explained, from a camera mounted on a mountain biker's helmet to a documentary crew with body cameras, and even a bionic prosthetic eye. The intelligence that the filmmakers put into this has made this film into one of the best found footage horror films I've had the pleasure of watching. VHS 2 manages to fix the faults of the first. It's shorter, takes the grungy, exploitive snuff film tone of VHS and adds more excitement and humor here. The quality of shorts this time around are much more consistent, but they are still a mixed bag. There's a way better framed narrative in tape 49 compared to that garbage tape 56 narrative from the first one. The first short, Phase Eye Chronicle Trails, if there's a bad quality, it's probably that one short. That one's just really average at best, but it does mix in a bit of humor at least. A Ride in the Park was really fantastic and incredibly unique in its use of the first-person point of view. It's definitely the most comical segment of the series. Safe Haven is probably my favorite segment of the second favorite segment of the series behind Amateur Night. It has many countless what the fuck moments, and I would have loved to see a feature-length version of this one be adopted. And then it got Slumber Party Alien Abduction, which literally made me terrified of aliens. And it's very hard for sci-fi films, even the alien movies in general, to do that at all. So yeah, I've got nothing else to say, but VHS 2 is always going to be the best of this franchise, and probably the only VHS movie I genuinely love. There we go, that ranks all 5 of the VHS movies. And you're probably wondering, what about that spin-off SIREN? I still have not watched that spin-off SIREN, guys. Yes, I do know of it, but I haven't watched the spin-off, so I can't rank it in this franchise. But Maybe I'll get around to watching it eventually whenever I can, but I know this is not going to be the last. 99 is not going to be the last VHS movie we're getting because we're supposed to be getting another one called VHS 99 next year. Yeah, we're getting another one of these. Another one. And well, after I was not pleased with 99, this VHS 85 better not be meeting the same fate as Viral. I hope. But I have also heard that Slumber Party Alien Abduction is going to be adopted into a feature-length movie, so that will be interesting to see, and Jason Eisner is going to be directing it. So it'll be nice to see Jason Eisner actually get to direct a feature-length horror film, because the only things he's directed are Hobo with a Shotgun and the Alien segment from VHS 2. That's the only stuff he's ever directed. But I can't wait to see him finally come back and do a feature-length horror film and hopefully he succeeds. Until then, guys, that'll be it for this franchise ranking. Thank you all for watching. And if you like this and want to see more, don't forget to like and subscribe to Don G. Corleone.